I really want to get myself organized for my crochet plans for 2025. If you saw my last video, you'll know that I kind of wrote down all of my crochet ideas and all of the things that I kind of want to achieve for the upcoming year. And now I need to actually organize my yarn, because some of the stuff that I have mentally assigned to the crochet projects I have in mind, I'm not sure if I'm going to have enough yarn, I'm not sure if I will have the exact color palette that I want. So I just kind of want to go through my yarn stash and just evaluate what I have, evaluate what yarn I want to assign to each project, and then just see kind of what I have left, because it's been a long time since I've delved into my yarn stash. It's a little disorganized at the moment. So this video is going to be like a yarn tour, reorganization, and assigning the yarn to my crochet projects. So it's going to be potentially a little bit all over the place, but I will try my best to kind of keep it a little bit structured. Also, hello, if you don't know me, my name is Rajan, aka Not Half Bad Crochet, and I post a lot of crochet content on here, from tutorials, vlogs, day in the lives, whatever this kind of video is. And if you like crochet stuff, you may as well give me a little subscribe. I also have a bunch of older videos that you can check out whilst you're here. Obviously, if you enjoyed this video, give it a little like, let me know what you think, and let's get into it. Okay, so this chest of drawers is where I keep all of my yarn. Ignore this, it's also where I keep my makeup, and apparently I am not very tidy. So in the bottom 3 drawers is all yarn. In the other drawers is just personal stuff. In this drawer is drawer number 1, and as you can see, it is not the most organized. So this drawer is where I keep all of my, let's say, fancier yarn. So it's cotton, it's merino wool, alpaca, there is some mohair in there, some other stuff. So this is just where I keep all of my non-acrylic yarn, basically. There is a sneaky acrylic in there, but it's because I just shoved it in there because I couldn't be bothered to put it away properly. So this is drawer number 1. And then for drawer number 2 is more of my acrylic. We have a little bit more organized in here. I'd say this is probably my most organized drawer, because I have kind of like my colors together of the yarn that I purchased together with an intentional color palette, if that makes sense. So we have kind of my recycled new next generation yarn from the wool factory here, and they were all in a specific color palette that I wanted. I have all of the skeins of the same color over here, some leftover from my partner's Christmas present last year. This is all black, that's why it's like a void, because you can't see anything there, because that's all black yarn. And then underneath is some other kind of miscellaneous yarn. And probably my worst drawer is this one, which is just, yeah, a little bit of a mess. This was always kind of the miscellaneous drawer. It's kind of where I put all of my scraps, all of the stuff where I've maybe got like one skein left of one colour, or something left over from a different project, or kind of chunkier yarn, stuff that I wouldn't necessarily use for wearables. We're going to do a little tidy, we're going to do a little organised, and I'm going to get my projects on track. Okay, so I had some tangled yarn, which I have untangled, and I just put it in these little balls for now, and I'm just going to figure out where I want my yarn to go. So I think I'm going to try and put like all of the cotton yarn on one side, non-cotton on the other, because I have obviously like these tiny skeins, I have some hanks, I have like, you know, leftover skeins. So I'm going to try and keep it as organized as possible. I have no idea what this was meant to be. I don't know what this was meant to be. What was I trying to make? I have no clue. It kind of looks like a thong, but it wasn't. But I don't know what it was supposed to be, but we're gonna frog it. Okay, so I have these like tiny amounts of the orange cotton yarn that I have, which I have a fair bit of. So I'm gonna put them in this little kind of like sealed bag, and then I'm gonna safety pin this to one of the skeins so that it doesn't kind of get lost in my drawer, and it kind of keeps them all together. Because I've got a decent amount. I've got what, 100, 200, 300, 350, and then whatever this grams of the orange yarn. So I could definitely make like a nice little summer top, and I'm sure I can use this for something. I think if this was the only amount I had of this yarn, it would go into my scrap yarn kind of bag. Because I have enough of the same color, I'll just attach it here so I don't lose it. There you go, all done. And there is a high chance I will recake these because they were just a bit tangled. I think I was gonna start a project with it, abandoned it, and then just dumped it in the drawer, which seems to be a bit of a theme with this particular drawer. I think maybe because it's the top drawer of where all my yarn lives, it was probably like the easiest drawer for me to just chuck stuff in. I also have a bunch of this yarn, which again was quite tangled because I had some squares left over from my partner's birthday gift where I made him like a patchwork shirt. I just made too many squares basically, and again I just dumped them in this drawer. So I'm gonna put these in another little seedy bag. I don't think I have any more of this yarn left, but if I come across any more, I'll attach it to it. If not, then this will go in my scrap yarn bundle bag thing. And then I've just realized there's some more here as well. Okay, so I don't really know where to proceed. So I've got all my cottons here so far. I think now, okay, I think I'm gonna take away all of the kind of hanks. So this is the yarn that I got from my recent trip to Prague. There's another skein in there. It's the Superwash Merino from Malabrigio. And I have a whole haul on this and my experience at the yarn shop that I went to in Prague, if you want to see. So I'm going to just move it out of the way. I'm just going to deal with all of my kind of like leftover and scrappy bits. There's more of this yarn from my partner's birthday gift, so I'm just going to put it in this bag. And luckily, like, as annoying as this is, it's not too overwhelming. I think like I intermittently kind of tidy and reorganize my yarn stash a little bit, so it's not too bad. It's just, I think where I've kind of got like little balls here, which I have attempted to organize, you know, but obviously like it's quite difficult to keep it like that, especially where I'm in and out of this drawer quite a lot. So I think putting in this bag and then just safety pinning it to at least one of the skeins in that same color palette is probably like my best bet. I've not really been struggling with like keeping them together. It's just I've been struggling with them not unraveling everywhere, and then getting kind of like in the way when I'm trying to get to other yarn. So yeah, so I have some more hanks over here. This is the mohair that I got from my trip to Amsterdam. I don't have any plans for this or for the yarn that I got for Prague. Sorry, I do have plans for it, but I don't have crochet plans. I low-key want to start trying to knit, because I think this knitted as well as the superwash knitted would look really, really nice. So I've got this, which is from Walk. It's a beautiful colorway. I really, really love it. I'm very excited to use it. But yeah, I kind of want to do like a knit project for it. Obviously I don't know how to knit, so it's not going to be like the first thing that I knit with it. I'll probably obviously do some practicing beforehand, but I got this alpaca and then this dark color as well to do to double strand with the mohair, because I think that would look really, really nice together, double stranded. I think that would look so cute. And then this is like kind of for the accent ribbing. I think those three together, oh, delicious. That would look so good. So that's kind of what I want to do with this. Obviously that's not kind of in my 2025 plan, which is fine. This side is very much like I've got a lot of yarn in that color, and now I'm nearing like miscellaneous type of stuff. So this is my current bag of scraps. I think this is all like my cotton scraps, because I like to keep them separate. So all of my cotton scraps, which I'm also going to move out of the way, I'm gonna kind of stack up the alpaca in this corner over here. What is that? And I think I'm gonna try and put like my wool on this side, my cotton on this side, and then it will just kind of meet up in the middle a little bit. What shall I do first? So that's my alpaca. So let's deal with the cotton first. This is wool, this is wool. That's, I don't know what that is. That's wool. And if it gets a bit tangled, it's fine. I really don't mind untangling yarn. I think obviously if it's like beyond repair, it can get quite stressful, but like I very rarely, like, why have I kept all my scraps? These are all the cut-offs from a top that I made, so I'll just put that up there for now. But yeah, if it's like beyond fixing, then yeah, obviously untangling yarn is quite stressful, but I don't think I ever really let it get to that point, if I'm being honest. Like, this is all that I have left from the superwash merino top that I made this year, so I'm gonna put that over there because it just feels a bit silly to keep it. This is an acrylic, this is an acrylic, so let's take you out of this drawer. And this is acrylic, just like a random bit of it. Put that over there. Oh, there's some more. What are you? Oh, that's tangled. Okay, so this is also the merino superwash that I used for my like Damps and Madder inspired top, but that's all I have left of it. So I think everything in this pile should be cotton. Yes, okay, let's move this yarn label, I don't need that. This is, what the hell is this? It's black. Oh, I know, it's a cotton and acrylic blend, but like, what the hell? I'm gonna put that to the side for now. If I come across more of it, then I will put it with it. But let's just address this cotton situation. I've got this really lovely bubblegum pink, which is super cute. And to be fair, with some of these, or to be fair, most of these colours actually in the Drops Paris, I think it's all Drops Paris. Or I have some of it's the Rico Creative Cotton, and some of it is Drops Paris. But they're the same yarn weight, and they're both 100% cotton, so I kind of mix and match with those. But yeah, so I have this pink, and I don't really have many plans, if any actually, with any of this the thicker cotton yarn. With this colour and with the green, I want to make my split waistcoat slash vest, which I will be doing a YouTube tutorial on at some point in the new year. But other than that, I don't have any plans with the rest of the cotton, so which will be quite nice, because I'm sure there will be a summery top that I want to make, and I will want some cotton for it, you know. Another bit of crap in there, that's for the bin. Another bit of crap. Okay, so all of my colours are kind of split up. I do have some, like, you know, some with balls and stuff, so I'm just gonna obviously some of them are fine, but I want to safety pin them to a skein, and then they're all together, and then I'll just kind of reorganize this middle bit here. all of the cotton is now done. I believe that's all of the cotton. Yeah, all of the cotton is now done. I'm just going to deal with this kind of like miscellaneous pile here, and then I can put my wool, like my hanks of the mohair and the merino wool in this middle kind of gap here. Because as well, what's good is that with these smaller skeins, I can put them up like tall ways, like long ways. But obviously with the hanks, I can't do that, and I don't want them to kind of get caught on the bottom of the top of the drawer when I'm pulling the drawer open and closed. So I think this is looking good so far. I feel like this method of safety pinning the kind of scrappy ends and stuff to a more solid skein is working, and the fact that now I can see all of the colours I have and how much of each colour I have is really, really helpful. So it's going well. Okay, drawer number 1 is all finished. So I just did the things that I said I was gonna do. I sorted out this little corner. This will probably be used relatively soon. And then these are the hanks of the Malabrigo yarn, and then we have the hanks of the mohair. And then this bag is all scrap cottons, because I personally like to keep my, when I kind of collect my scraps, I like to keep them together by fibre, and then at least I know what kind of project I want to make with it. So yeah, so these are all of my cotton scraps, which fit very nicely on top of the mohair. So drawer number 1 is all finished and done. My battery is dying, so I am going to have to charge it, but drawer number 2 I don't think is going to need a whole lot of organising, because it is pretty organised, but I will probably just tidy it up a little bit and then see if I can kind of fit anything else in this area as well. Drawer number 2 is basically done. Also, FYI, if you buy the next gen yarn from the Wool Factory, the yarn labels, the bands, whatever you want to call them, are absolute trash. They arrived like just falling apart, just fucking falling apart, which I don't mind too much because I keep my yarn relatively organized, but it's still annoying, you know. It's still quite annoying because it's like, I've not had this that long, it should not be happening. Anyway, that's annoying, but whatever, we're moving on. So I have just kind of reorganized everything a little bit, and for one of my projects, which I'll kind of go into in a little bit more depth in a bit, but I wanted all of a lot of blue toned yarn, which I knew I had a lot of, and I was just kind of organizing these colorways of yarn, and these 2 shades of blue are the same but different. Like, they're very, very similar, but they're not the same. Like, look how similar they are. So I was just kind of losing my mind a little bit, you know, as you do. Now I can't remember which is which. Fuck. Trying to figure out, is that right? Is it easy to figure out on the camera? Yeah, trying to figure out which part was which, and then I had a bunch of kind of scrappy bits that I put in there, which I think is now correct. Yes, that is correct. So yeah, so this is all kind of my blue tone yarn. I've just kind of organised this corner a little bit so I can see everything a bit better. I've just kept this back row of yarn the same because I have a fair bit of it. This is some yarn that I haven't yet touched. It's yellow, pink and white, which I think is so funny because, you know, if you saw my latest video, or one of my latest video, I did talk about the fact that I love yellow and pink together. So whatever, we move on. And then I have some black Aran yarn here, which I have, I think, about 6 skeins of. So I don't really know what I want to do with that. I have some other projects that I'm using black Aran for, so I'm glad I've got some spare, just in case I have like miscalculated how much I'll need for the projects that I have in mind already for it. And then I have this like ginormous skein of this like dark purple, and then a little bit of this dark teal. These 2 are both from my Check Me Out cardigan, my first ever Check Me Out cardigan. And then I use both of these colours again for my Halloween patchwork sweater, and I just still have a shit ton left. I'm curious how much I bought in the first place, because this has been used for 2 big projects now, so I don't fucking know. But yeah, so drawer number 2 is all done, and then drawer number 3 is a bit of a madness at the moment. I also have a big pile of yarn that I just kind of took out. So this yarn on the ground is all of the yarn from a bag that I crocheted, and then this is like frogged from jumper, and then I have some like other coloured yarn, and this is just all really chunky. So I think I'm probably gonna keep that not in the yarn drawers. I might just like put it in a bag and then put it like somewhere in my wardrobe, because it's chunky yarn, it just takes up so much fucking room. So it was just, yeah, it was just taking up loads of room, it was fucking everywhere, and it was actually quite annoying. So I have just eliminated that from the drawer for now. So now we're doing the miscellaneous drawer, which is probably the worst one because it's the hardest to keep organized, I think, and it's the hardest to organize in the first place. You're probably like, why are you keeping it? because you never know. That is probably something I need to work on, but I don't want to work on it right now. And as well, like, some of it is fine. It's fine. I don't want to work on it right now. I don't want to deal with the fact that I should probably donate it or give it to somebody or even just throw it out, because I don't want to. And I like scrap yarn projects. I like having the option of having scrap yarn when it comes to doing scrappy projects. Like, 2 of my most worn sweaters are scrap yarn projects. So whatever, I'm gonna deal with this now. I don't think I'm not enjoying, well, I wouldn't say I'm enjoying this process as much anymore. I think I'm ready for it to end, which is fine, and I think that's normal. I want it to end, and I know I'm close, so it's okay. I will be a sassy little bitch about it, but I'll do it, and it's fine, and that's okay. So I'm gonna do it now. All right. Part of me is like, should I just recake some of this stuff? Because I think one of the reasons why this yarn is such a mess is because, like, I caked this and I obviously used some more of the yarn, and then it's now depleted, and it's just like quite, it kind of adds to the like, you know, disorganization of this drawer. Maybe I'll just start caking. I think I'm gonna do that, because otherwise I'll never do it. Okay, so we're on the bottom drawer. I ended up doing a lot more winding than I would have liked, but it's all very organized now. I think winding the yarn back into proper cakes, especially if they were kind of a bit loose, or maybe it was like a skein that I had used like quite a lot of, like these were basically all still in a skein. So yeah, it has helped, much to my displeasure, but it's helped a lot. It's definitely easier for me to visually now see how much of each skein I have, and this is all scraps, so I'll probably either put it towards scrap projects or maybe like smaller projects, so like I could make like a beanie or some gloves, or put it towards a scrappy scarf or a project, a bigger scrappy project, that sort of thing. I've basically finished, this is all of the yarn, but I do have quite a few excuse me. I basically, when I was last reorganizing my yarn, I kind of assigned and put in some yarn in some bags to some of the projects that I knew I already had patterns for. So I had the pattern for the I'm Fire sweater, the pattern for the Brontosaurus sweater, and then I think, yeah, I had the tapestry for the No Face tapestry that I want to turn into a sweater. So this is kind of what I assigned for the Brontosaurus sweater. I'm not entirely sure if I want to kind of keep this colorway. I don't hate it. Let me show you what I was thinking. So I've got this really nice teal, which again, this is from my Check Me Out cardigan, where I had multiple skeins of it. That which I was planning to do for like the main body, I have this dark green and then I have a light green. So I think on the pattern it's majority of like the dinosaur is in a lighter color, and then you have a darker color to kind of accent it. So I wanted to make sure they were in the same kind of color family, but I had like a light and dark version, which I think will look really cool. And obviously, like, a dinosaur is typically green, do you know what I mean? So I think that would look really cute. And then I think it would look good with this as the background color, but I'm not like completely in love with it, if I'm being completely honest with you. Looking at the kind of other yarn that I have, I don't think there's anything that I have quite a lot of that I'm like super stoked on pairing this with. So I might have like a little rethink. Actually, to be fair, it does look cool, but then I put this random purple in here and I don't really know why. I think maybe I added it as like to use as like an accent color, because I had, how many grams of the teal? 1, 2, 3. So I had like 360 70 grams of the teal, and so I think I put this purple in because I was unsure if I would have enough of the teal for an entire sweater. So I think what I might do now is take this purple out and then put this teal in, because I think I kept some of this teal aside for my Halloween sweater. So I think I'm gonna just add that to this bag, and that now should be enough for the entire sweater. And a worst case scenario, I can use some of the leftover green as like ribbing, like an accent ribbing or something like that. So I think that should be enough for now. Okay, the last drawer is officially finished. Everything is caked, everything is tidy, everything is organized. I feel so much better because this drawer is an absolute mess. I do have this pile of my thicker, chunkier yarn, which I will do with another day. I'm probably just gonna roll it back up and kind of securely fasten the ends of the balls, because, you know, it's not great, but I'll probably just put it in its own kind of separate bag and then put it in my wardrobe, because that's where I keep my kind of more miscellaneous yarn that I don't really reach for, but like I still want to keep it because I can use this for like plant hangers and bags and, you know, stuff that you would need chunky yarn for. The last drawer is now done, so now I can kind of assign the yarn I have to the projects that I want to do for 2025. Here is how the other drawers are looking. This is the first drawer, which is the cotton. So we have all of my kind of lace fine cotton here. We have my thicker cotton and then the miscellaneous colours. We have the superwash merino wool from Malabrigo. I've got my scraps in a bag here, and then the mohair that I got from Amsterdam is underneath here. Alpaca, and then we have some miscellaneous kind of faux mohair, but it's wool, and then some miscellaneous superwash merino, and then a little bit of a different kind of superwash merino. So that's drawer number one. Drawer number two, this is mostly acrylic, if not all acrylic. So I have this kind of colorway here, which is the Wool Factory recycled yarn. I have some Black Aran here, which honestly just looks like a void. We have some Papacha, which is cotton and acrylic. This is some Sunbeam, which is like a yellow, white and pink combo. These are all the kind of blue tone yarns that I mentioned before. We have a dark purple, which is a huge skein, which I used for my Check Me Out cardigan and my Halloween sweater. This is leftover yarn from my partner's Christmas gift last year. So I've still got, I think, like 5 skeins of it left. And then for the last drawer, this is all of my kind of miscellaneous and scrap yarn. This one I've got like a skein and a little bit, skein and a little bit. This is like a little bit left over, and then just like odd skeins here and there of different projects. Some of these are, that's like a scrappy kind of skein that I made up of everything. In this bag is the Brontosaurus jumper yarn, so I kept it all in the same bag. I added that extra ball of teal yarn, and then I've just put it in this bag and then put it in the back of this drawer, so just to kind of, because there was space, so I figured I may as well put it in there. And this kind of like vacuum sealed bag is where I'm keeping the yarn for the On Fire sweater, which is the black, hot pink and baby pink. There is baby pink on the other side, but I don't want to open it because obviously I vacuum sealed it. And then this is all of the yarn for the No Face sweater. So there's some black, there's a cream, there's this lovely minty green, there's a purple for the kind of background colour. So yeah, so both of those are in this bag, and I will kind of keep these just like in my office area because I don't have room in the drawers for those. So those two I have already assigned the yarn for both of those projects. And then for the project where I wanted to try Tunisian crochet, this is the colourway that I was thinking of. So it's kind of this like purpley, like berry kind of colour, this like cobalt blue, this very bright neon green or like neon limey green, and then like a very bright pink. And like these 4 colors, they feel a bit crazy together, but like I feel like they work at the same time. So that's kind of the color palette I was thinking for the Tunisian crochet project, which I think would actually look really cute. And then this Papacha yarn I was thinking for the front tie cardigan that I want to do, like the stripy one. So I have this really nice turquoise color, I have a pink, and then I have a yellow, and it's actually the leftover yarn from my Blossom cardigan. So we have the pink there and then the yellow there. So that's the leftovers. I have 2, I think 3 skeins of the turquoise, and then I have, I think, 2 skeins of black as well. So if needs be, I can incorporate all of it. But if I don't use the black, then I'll use the black for the lacy square vest that I want to do, like the front tie vest that I want to do, because this is like a nice fine yarn and I think would look really good in a vest. And then these are all of the blue toned scrap yarn that I have that I want to do for the patchwork sweater, and I think I will have more than enough yarn to make a sweater in in all of these different shades of blue, I think it would actually look really, really cute, because like I mentioned, some of the shades are like slightly, very, very slightly different, and some of them are like quite different. So I think it will be quite cute. I think that will look really nice. As for the yarns at the back, I don't have any kind of projects in mind for now, but I do have some projects that are on my list that I don't have like yarn assigned to. So I think this would look really good in any of the kind of projects that I don't have any yarn assigned to just yet. And I have 7 skeins of that, so it will kind of take me quite far. And then the black Aran yarn, I can always kind of incorporate into something else, and I think I've got like 6 or 7 skeins of that, so even if I use some of it or all of it, I'm sure I will get through it. And then this yarn, I'm not really the biggest fan of this colorway. Like, it suits my partner and I think it suits me as well. It's just not something, it's not a colorway that I particularly reach for. I'm sure, as you can tell, I like my very bright, bold colors, but I may make something for my partner with this. I've not quite decided, because I think I've got, yeah, 5 or 6, 5 skeins, 500 grams of it. So I could make him a sweater, or like a kind of like a top or something with a long sleeve top or something. So I'll see what I want to do with that one, but nothing planned as of yet. Oh, and then for the Wave Hello top, where I want to do it in a thin yarn, I have this really nice thin gray, and then I've got this thin blue as well, and I think those 2 colors would look really lovely together. And then if I don't have enough, which I probably won't, but even though I have quite a lot of the gray, I have a cream as well, which is actually in my scrap yarn kind of bundle. There's some cream in here. There's quite a bit of cream in this bag, so I can incorporate some of the cream in there, which I think would look really cute. So it'll be cream, grey and blue, which I think is really nice, and not my usual color palette, but I am trying to kind of be a bit, I suppose, a bit braver, I guess, with neutral tones, because I think I wear a lot of colour, and as much as I love wearing a lot of colour, sometimes I do want something a little bit more neutral and a little less eye-catching, if that makes sense, so I don't stand out so much. Sometimes it's nice to just, you know, have something a little bit plainer. So yeah, so that's what I want to do with the Wave Hello top. So I think I mentioned as well, I have a rainbow sweater that I crocheted, and I put a collar on it, and I wasn't the biggest fan, but this is the rainbow yarn, it's the same yarn that I use in the sweater, so I do have a little bit left over in case I need to add it to the yarn I will frog from the actual sweater. And for the summer dress that I want to make, so the Madaxi dress that I want to do, I've got all of this really beautiful lilac cotton, and I have this dark purple. I am kind of thinking of incorporating this green into it as well, because I think these 3 colors look so good together, and maybe because I've not got much of the green left, so maybe using this as like an accented trim. This was one of the projects that was just kind of like dumped in the drawer, and this is the African flower hexagon top that I made that just didn't work. I think the way I kind of tessellated the hexagons just didn't really work, but it looks beautiful in this cream yarn. Is cotton and acrylic blend, and then I have a bunch of the hexagons left over, so I just need to rework this, and I'll probably do this closer to the summer, but this is going to live in my crochet graveyard for now. And then for my split vest, so my waistcoat that I'm going to do a YouTube tutorial for, I have this kind of like emeraldy green and then like a dark teal. So I do have more of this. It's currently as a project because I crocheted something. I basically made like a little tank top, and I wasn't really the biggest fan for it. I didn't reach for it all summer, so that is also in my crochet graveyard, which I will obviously frog to make the vest, but if I need more, I have more. And I think that's all of it, to be honest. All of the other projects that I have, I either don't have a yarn in mind, or I kind of want to do like a scrappy sort of situation, so it'll probably depend on like what yarn I have left from some of these projects that I've already kind of assigned the yarn to, if that makes any sense. We did it! We did it, everybody! Well done, well done. Thank you so much for sticking around whilst I did that, because goddamn, that was a ride. I mean, it wasn't a ride, it was just boring. I think when I started it, I was like, oh, this is quite fun, but I think when I realised the kind of gravity of how much stuff was just chucked into the drawers, I was a bit like, oh fuck, this is actually going to be a bit of a bigger job than I expected it to be. I think I kind of expected me to be done in like a couple of hours maximum, but it's taking me like 3.5 hours. So I mean, it's fine ultimately, and I'm very glad I've done it, because it's one of those things where I don't really like going into the new year with things disorganized or things messy, or like my brain being a bit disorganized. So I feel good that I've not only written all of my project ideas down and kind of got all of the creativity that was bustling around in my brain on paper, so I'm not like forgetting, or I don't feel uninspired by the time that I want to make these projects, but I now also feel a lot better that I've assigned the yarn, because one of the main reasons why I've kind of wanted to get my shit together mentally is because I don't want to be buying yarn next year. As you've seen, I got a lot of yarn, okay? I don't need any more yarn. All of the projects that I have in mind, I basically have yarn for. So there's absolutely no need for me to buy any additional yarn, whether it's kind of cotton or acrylic, whether it's for summer stuff, winter stuff, whatever. I don't need it. So I think for me, I really wanted to kind of take this whole no yarn buying quite seriously and really assess what I have and how I can utilize the yarn I already have into the projects that I want to make, which is completely achievable because I've got like 24 things on my list that I want to make. There's maybe a few of them, like the color work ones, like the kind of Monsters University one, and a couple of other, maybe like the Halloween tapestry one. They all don't need specific, well, other than those, they don't need specific color palettes, so I can just choose whatever the hell I want. So it's very unlikely that I will be buying more yarn. I really don't want to have to buy more yarn. I think if it comes to like the end of next year and I have empty drawers, then yeah, I'm probably gonna buy more yarn because then I can actually crochet. I think if it gets to the point where I have nothing left and nothing for me to make something with that I want to, then yeah, I'm gonna buy it because I obviously want to do my hobby still. Me not wanting to buy yarn is more to utilize the things I have before I look to buy new things. Not that I just want to eliminate crocheting, you know, because I still want to do my hobby. I still enjoy doing my hobby. I just don't want to feel stressed by the sheer amount of yarn that I have. So I feel good, I feel better, I'm tired, I am ready to go sit down. It's dark outside now, that's how long I've been doing this. So I'm gonna end things here. If you had no idea about any of the projects that I was talking about that I kind of assigned the yarn to, just go back to my previous video. I will link it in the description so you can check it out, and I kind of just talk through all of the project ideas I have for 2025. And if any of those sound interesting to you, obviously make sure you give me a subscribe, because I will most likely either do patterns or tutorials or vlogs about them, process videos, that sort of thing, because I really have been enjoying posting on YouTube lately and doing a lot more longer form content. Because if there's one thing you've noticed, it's I like to talk, I like to yap, okay? I like to talk about the things that I love, and this is a great place for me to do it. So if you enjoy it, then great, even better. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a little like, leave me a comment, let me know what you think about my kind of yarn stash organizing, and let me know how you guys organize your yarn, because I feel like everyone does it so differently. Do you have a yarn stash? Do you organize it? Do you just kind of put it in a bin bag and hope for the best? Let me know, because I'm intrigued, and if you have some great ideas, then I may steal them. Obviously, give me a little subscribe so you can check out all of the future projects that I will be doing for 2025. And I'm not sure when I'll be posting this video, but I hope everyone has a good start to the new year. It is my birthday, early January as well, so this may or may not come out before or after my birthday, but hopefully I have a good time. I would also love to connect with you guys, so if you want to give me a follow on TikTok and on Instagram, my links are down below, but my @ is @NotHalfBadCrochet. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I will hopefully see you guys on the next one.